Good afternoon, Composition 2 students. This is the first class of the semester. Here we are in my office, which I intend to be the studio for this semester. Before we begin, I just want to say, don't be too concerned about any gimmicks or glitches. I didn't mean gimmicks, I meant glitches. I'm not going to do anything tricky, is what I mean, and there's going to be some technical problems probably with the system because they installed a new system this summer. So already there's been some issues with communication and posting lectures. So just communicate with me by email or phone the English department office if you have any concerns, but don't be too worried if you don't catch the lecture in the first week. Since we had this coronavirus issue, I have always extended the first week's lecture attendance for 2 weeks, just to give everybody a chance to switch classes and watch the orientation and get credit for it. So the way this class is going to work is every week there'll be a recorded lecture, no matter what, because we have no midterm. But we will have several Zoom meetings in addition to our regular classes. That is going to be strictly because I want to know who you are, and I want everyone to feel like this is a real class and that you're not just sitting in your apartment, your dormitory, or in your house in Gungdong, your villa, isolated from other people. I think one of the things about university that's very positive is that you interact with other people, including your professor. And if I just do recorded lectures and you never actually talk to me in real time, that's not good. Just email and notices and recordings is not good enough. So periodically, I would like to invite you to a Zoom meeting so that we can just talk about how the course is going and people can give their opinions and we can discuss the topics a little bit. We would normally do this at the beginning of each class, but because of the system that we're using and because of the way students have given me feedback, I think the best way is to give the lecture material to you and for me to discuss it myself, and then for us to review it together later. So we've tried lots of different things. I've tried sitting at my desk. I've tried doing it at home. This is what we're going to try this time. I have a whiteboard here, so when I write things down, I can write them on the board, and you can make notes, and I can talk, and we can pretend really like this is a virtual classroom instead of me with a headset on sitting at my desk. Let's pretend this is a classroom and that you're sitting right in front of me, and that you're not sitting at your desk or laying on your bed or wherever you are. I would like it to be more like a virtual classroom. So this is the way I'm going to teach. I'm going to hold my textbook and my notes in front of my whiteboard and pretend that there's 20 students or 50 students sitting in front of me, okay? So that's the plan. Originally, you may have heard that we wanted to have normal classes, normal with masks and sanitizer and space between desks, but the Delta variant came to Korea and has taken over, and even when the vaccine rate is up, there's not a very good chance that this semester is going to go the way we want it to. So don't worry about that either. I know some people wanted to live in the dormitory or decide they wanted to stay home or they wanted to live in Gungdong and they weren't sure what to do. Whatever you decided, it's decided, and I'm not going to suddenly move the class to an offline class and say everybody from all over Korea come to Cheongnam next week. I won't do that, so don't panic. Anything that happens will be announced in advance, and I'll make it so it's convenient as possible for all of the students, all of you, okay? So, all that stuff being said, this is Composition 2, and the purpose of this class is to improve your English writing skills. Now, I do like to do a little bit of creative writing in this class. There's a composition 1 and a composition 3 class. There's 3 levels. And the way I teach composition 1 is basically, it's the basics of how to do college writing. This class involves a little bit more reading, comprehension, discussing, analysis, and interaction between us. And then composition 3 is really to help you improve your essay writing skills. So you don't need to, you can expect that we're going to write academically, but there's also going to be opportunities for you just to share your ideas and give your opinions. When you do assignments, I have to grade you, so there are criteria for those, but certainly there's going to be some homework and some assignments which are just, supposed to be fun. They're supposed to give you a chance to learn about something that you like and to write something and share what you think about it with me. So this class is a little bit more flexible. The book that we are going to use is called Weaving It Together. It's a reading and writing textbook. It's kind of designed to be short reading passages and then responses and discussion and writing related to those topics. So the class will be structured around that. Now, I don't have my book. I don't know where it is. I had a book for like 7 years, but it disappeared. I ordered a new one and it's on the way. But on the website, okay, now this information is on the syllabus in English and Korean. The website is koreanheroes.net. Okay, I'll write that on the board. This is my personal website, which originally was for Korean cultural stuff, but as I did more and more things in English in Korea, it sort of got hijacked for the purpose. Coronavirus came along and I started, using part of the website for my classes. So when you go onto this website, you'll see there's tabs. There's stuff about Lee Sun-shin, there's stuff about Korean culture and Korean history, and even stuff about gardening in Korea. But the part that you need to go to is there's a composition tab. You click on the composition tab and it brings you to a page where there's a whole bunch of information about this class. And it's just super convenient for me to just put it there and then link it. So when you go, you can go here anytime, but when you're gonna watch the lectures, I will put the link up on this website, and then you have to log in through the CNU portal. I'm glad you're not all freshmen because some of you know this stuff already, but you log in using your student ID, and then you go here, and then it'll take you directly to the video. It'll take you directly to the link. So all you have to do is go through to the, cyber lecture for this class. And then when you watch this, a timer will be there and you have to make sure you finish the timer, okay? So on a normal week, there'll be, I think, I have to check, the regulations sometimes change, but last semester and previous semesters, it was 60 minutes. So even if my video is 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 40 minutes, you have to let that timer expire. You have to make sure, the timer completes, the timer finishes, and you get credit for your attendance. If you don't, then it's like you never came to class, right? It's like you came to class and left before I took the attendance, and so I didn't know you were there, okay? So you have to make sure that happens. That's how the attendance works, and that's how the class is gonna go probably until the exam, okay? When I make announcements, I'm gonna put it on the notice board. You have to pay attention to the notice board. If you don't pay attention to the cyber campus, you don't log in, you don't watch your lectures, you don't know when the assignments are given, you fail the class. You have to pay attention, okay? You basically only have to log in once a week. It's not a big deal. I will give you lots of notice. I will say, in 2 weeks, you have to finish this assignment. It's due on this day. But if you don't pay attention to it, the deadline is gone. You can't say at the end of the semester, "Oh, professor, I didn't know," because that's because you're not following the class. This is an online class, so you have to keep up. I don't know if you're paying attention or not until I look at your submissions or I look at your attendance, right? And I can't go after everybody. This is college, this is university, so it's your responsibility to keep up with the class. So anything that is going to be, changed or last minute, I will send an SMS, I will send emails to everybody, but normally look at the notice board, look at the assignments that are due, and follow the instructions that are given in the lecture. If you have any questions, you have to ask me, okay? So for the course, the primary source of information is this recorded lecture. That's where you get your information about the course. Then there's the cyber campus notices, right? There's a textbook, which I will be assigning things in this class. When I assign homework, you need to listen. I'm going to write it on the board. These pages are homework, and I'm going to say it in the lecture. If you don't listen to the lecture and you don't get the homework and you don't do it, you get 0. That's it. Of course, you can email me. Try not to phone me or message me unless it's an emergency. I don't know who you are, and my phone already gets enough voice phishing from weird messages. Shanann Bank phones me every day. I don't know why. I don't answer my phone unless I know who it is. If you do need to talk to me desperately, then you should send a text message and identify yourself. Tell me who you are and what your student number is. Otherwise, I'm not going to answer you. Also, when you're sending an email, the proper way to send an email is to say, "Dear Professor," and then write your concern or write your message or write your question, and then at the bottom say, Kim Soo-jin, 2021, 60453, okay? I need your student number and your name. Most important thing is the student number. When you send the email, there should be a subject line. It shouldn't be blank, right? The subject should be, "I have a question about the test," and then, right? The content of the email should be the question about the test. But just leaving it blank means, I don't know what the content of the email is. So write a subject line, address it to me, write your concern, your question, your comment, your whatever it is you want to express, sign off, give me your student number, and I will get back to you quick. I'm usually within 24 hours, I get back. I'm really quick about emails. If I don't get back to you in a couple days, then email me again, right? Give me a couple days, give me, 2 or 3 days. But if I didn't answer you, email me again, because that I must have missed it or I forgot. My email address is posted on the website, but once again, it is Sullivan I'm trying to write large here so that even if you're on your phone, you can see, I hope. But tablet or nice big widescreen monitor would be better. That's my email address, sullivanhbs@gmail.com. I posted that on KoreanHeroes.net, and the room that I'm in right now is 436. That's in the Inmundae Hakyo. Those of you who don't, everybody should know by now, you're not brand new freshmen, you're, 1 semester old freshmen, so you should know where that is. 4th floor, around the corner from the English department office. What else can I say there? Let's move on, I guess. You have to buy the textbook next week. Next Thursday will be the first Composition 2 class. I realize there are 3 sections actually, but I'm gonna try and release the video on the Thursday, the first class every Thursday, and other people can watch the video during their week. But so if you're a Thursday student, then you're working on it Thursday to Thursday. If you're a Tuesday student, then you have to watch the video during your week, but the video will be the same. I teach the same class. If you were in class, I would teach the same class slightly differently, but I would teach the same class 3 times, and the exam are variations of the same thing. I change the exam slightly for each class, but there's no difference in content. It's just, so if people are writing on different days, they can't share information with each other. So this is for all Composition 2 students, not just our Thursday class. You will see this go up on YouTube, but you won't see the cyber lecture window open until your day. So just remember, if you go directly to my website and you watch it before or after your period, your 1 week period, it doesn't count. You have to watch it during your period, right? Your cyber lecture period. It's set up that way. I hope that's clear. So let's move on. How does the class work in terms of evaluations? Well, attending class, like I said, is very important. 20% of your grade is simply just watching the lectures, making sure that you keep up to date in the lectures. 20% of your grade is the homework assignments. The homework assignments are not graded. You just have to do them. It's one of the ways that I know that you watch the lectures, is that I give you something to do, and if you hand it in, if you submit it on the cyber campus on time, that means you watched the video. If you didn't, you don't know how to do it, and you don't do it properly, then I'm just gonna say it's incomplete and I'll give you half credit, or if you don't do it or it's not done on time, it's 0. So it's 0 or half or 100%. So there'll be a few different homework assignments. I think last year in Composition 2 there were 4 or 5 of them. So they're roughly worth 4 or 5% each. It's not going to kill your grade if you don't do one, but it's going to help your grade a lot. If you do them all and you do them well, it's not a matter of A's or B's or C's. You just make an effort, you do a good job of it, you get perfect on your homework, you watch all the lectures, that's 40% of your grade. So basically you make an effort, you do your homework, half of your grade is taken care of. Now the other parts, there's going to be 2 assignments that are small but graded, 1 or 2, and they'll be worth 10%. If there's 2 of them, it'll be 5% each, and if there's 1 of them, it'll just be a straight 10% assignment, and that'll be graded, and I'll let you know beforehand, this one is graded, something that you're going to have to do. And then there's 2 like 1 page, like 300 word kind of 250, 300 word response papers, and they're going to be based on the topics that I give you in class. So that'll be coming from the textbook. We'll do a chapter about international culture or festivals or food or extreme sports or climate change or something like that, and I will be asking you to write something on that. Okay? And so that is, those are worth 10% each, and there are 2 of those. Those are already scheduled, and on the website you can see what day you have to submit those. There'll be one earlier on, like after a month, and there'll be one late. Not too big of a deal. The final exam is worth 30%, and that's the whole class. That's 100%. The final exam, I'll explain how that works when we get there. But it's basically, there's 2 sections to it. There's sort of like a reading and question and answer kind of part, and then there's a writing part, and that's the exam. There is no midterm. One of the things that students like about this is that there's no midterm. One of the things that students don't like is there's lots of writing, because some people think writing is hard, and I think writing is hard. Writing is a process. Is difficult, especially in another language. It might be your second language or your third language, and writing's tough. I did French writing in university. It's my second language, and my problem was grammar. What can I say? My French grammar is still bad. I never managed to figure it out. And speaking for me was easier than writing. But writing requires some patience and some dedication, and some thought. You need to revise it. You need to look at it once you've done it. You need to see what you can do to improve it. So patience is important, and you'll see, if you make an effort, you'll see results. That's my first piece of advice for your attitude about writing. And some people just like writing already, so good for you, and welcome to the class if you're somebody who likes writing already. What else? The skills that you need, that we want to develop here. I do want to teach you how to form a very clear argument that could be used as a thesis, as the starting point of an essay. Like I said, we're not going to do real essays, but I do want you to be able to make a clear statement that could be used as, the foundation of an argument. So we're going to work on that. Obviously, comprehension of English language will be one of the core skills to work on. Analyzing, building your vocabulary, forming neat, organized paragraphs, and of course the format of how to submit a paper, make it look good, make it organized, neat, and attractive, with the correct information on it, so that your professor, has a positive attitude towards your work before they even start reading. There's nothing better than picking up a piece of paper that's double spaced. It's got all the correct information on top right. It's got the date, the professor's name. It's got a title. The capitalization and punctuation is done. It's the right length. Everything submitted in order. There's nothing better than picking one of those papers up and having high expectations. And there's nothing worse than picking up something unlike that. That immediately looks like it's going to be difficult to read, even if it's got good content. Okay, now last, what can I say about other things about writing? There's a zero tolerance policy for plagiarism, as there is in most academic institutions. You're not allowed to copy from anyone. If you get quotations, you get information, research, you get inspired even, your writing is paraphrasing somebody else's way of saying something, you need to document that. That's part of the format thing. Again, once I look on the back page and I see there's a list of references and I can see the information is coming from this place, but you've quoted what you took directly, and it has informed your own communication of your idea. That is what I want. And if I read it and it looks like it's put together from a bunch of other people's writing, or it's just one big copied piece from Wikipedia, that is cheating. That's what we call plagiarism. And you receive a 0 automatically for that. And there is, if it's a serious, if it happens on an exam or it happens on a major assignment, you can fail the course, okay? If it's a minor assignment, I'm just gonna give you 0 and warn you that you're not allowed to do that. But if it's anything major in the course, that's grounds for failure. If you cheat on an exam, you can end up getting punished further by an academic dishonesty board, okay? Now, I'm not threatening you or anything. It's respectful to other people. Everybody else is doing their work, and you should do your work too. This is what university is. You have a responsibility to do your own work, not to steal, and not to cut corners to get an unfair advantage over another student. Also, you're not going to develop your own writing if you just copy a block of Charles Dickens and stick it in your assignment. Everybody knows that's not you, especially you. So don't do that. Struggle through it. No pain, no gain. So plagiarism is that's just a lazy, cheating option. And I hope nobody tries to take that path, because it's really not an attractive one. When you miss a class, that happens. If you're sick or there's a good reason for it, a death in the family, an emergency of any kind, military service, some sort of legitimate excuse that is permitted by the university administration. You get documentation for it. You don't have to worry about that attendance. You do still have to do your homework. You have to work out something with me, and if you miss the test, you have to make up the test, okay? Now, if you miss a class and you don't have a good excuse for it, then you have to, you get an absence, and there's nothing you can do about that. Informing me of the reason is nice, but that's not necessary. You can ask for what you've missed and all that kind of stuff. If you miss more than 3 classes, you fail the class. So there's a limit to how many you can skip. If you skip a class and you don't hand in your homework of course is late. My late policy is usually 3% per day, up to a week, and after a week you can't hand it in. That's too late. Okay. Now on the computer, there are some hard deadlines because of submission dates. So just submit it when you can. That's the bottom line. If you miss the date on the computer, then you have to email me personally, because you won't be able to submit it because the assignment window will be closed. But I will accept it if it's a few days late, and then I will deduct the percentage that is appropriate. All right, and that's pretty much the rundown for what the class is going to be like. Again, like I said, the textbook is going to be Weaving It Together 2, and it's a red cover. It's published by National Geographic Learning, and you can see it on the website. We will continue to figure things out. Some things are going to be adjusted, and I will let you know by SMS and by notices. And if you have any concerns, you can email me. But for now, sit tight, get your textbook, and we'll get going for real next week. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.